So welcome back again, and today we are now going to discuss about Suraj's feedback from yesterday regarding GPU net and NuNet, like the similarities between both. So yesterday he gave some interesting feedback regarding the CUDA interface. So I would like to talk about what he shared with us, and the aspect that PyTorch is very dependent on the CUDA architecture, and also the all the AI models that are developed, they are primarily reliant on the PyTorch based framework. So we were discussing about NVIDIA and AMD. So how there are some challenges in incorporating AMD into a system where NVIDIA GPUs are already there, and how there can be an intelligent decision making system where when a job is received, like you want to run a chatbot or an AI chatbot, so you want you do not have to worry about whether it runs on an NVIDIA or an AMD GPU. So how can we resolve that challenge? So here we were uh, discussing yesterday, like how we incorporated AMD into the DMS, the NuNet DMS. Uh, and we were also talking about other devices, like GPUs are not the only devices that are used in the market. So there are also TPUs, like tensor processing units. So these are also quite important in machine learning and for doing computations and in any uh, uh, kind of use case. So there is a need for uh, an interface where user gives the request and the job is executed without any hassle, and it needs to be very seamless, and it needs to be vendor agnostic. So this is what we were discussing yesterday. But before we go deeper into that, because tomorrow and the day after tomorrow is also there. So the final day we are going to discuss extensively on, and we'll be giving a demo also how to run a job on NuNet. And because this is the DeSci, sorry, just a second. So I'll just uh, okay. So yeah. Yeah, actually, I'm sorry about the interruption. So, since this is the DeSci Ideathon, so day after tomorrow we'll be giving a demo on how we can run a scientific simulation on NuNet. But before we go into that, I would like to go to the early days of the DMS. So how uh, the DMS initially did not have the GPU uh, way of doing jobs. It was primarily a CPU-based architecture. So we have Santosh here. So he will be talking about how he utilized the pre ChatGPT era, as you mentioned. So at that time there was no ChatGPT. So the significance of human-led AI that we are going to have a workshop on with Stanley tomorrow. So we are going to talk about uh, the significance of humans that is still important to uh, work on these models and how this GPU integration was done, Santosh is going to introduce. So please. I think you can come a bit this way. You can come this side. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you can talk about the Stack Overflow example that we just discussed.
Yeah, so like
Yeah.
today we if we have any problem, we go to chat GPT and prompt it.
Yeah.
And like while we were working on it, I didn't know how to use the GPUs.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a pre chat GPT era, and
Yeah.
I used to ask questions
Yeah.
there. So yeah, like still if we use chat GPT, that data is unused,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one of the example of human-led AI,
Yeah.
isn't it?
So I'll be going a bit specific. Like there was a challenge. The challenge first was there was a way of uh, deploying the containers. Essentially, it is very easy to deploy NVIDIA GPUs on containers through Docker, but uh, on Stack Overflow, Santosh asked a very beautiful question on how can I incorporate this in Golang, the Go programming language. So you can briefly.
Yeah, for AMD actually, Avi was the researcher
Yeah.
and I was the implementer. So
No, but you asked the question. That's where research begins. Yeah.
yeah, so for AMD we have to pass, I think, host config, and we have to pass some device files
Yeah.
on Linux, and yeah, there are some configuration in host config.
Yeah. So day after tomorrow, we are going to talk about the AMD GPU host config, the additional challenges that we faced in incorporating AMD devices. So we're going to talk about it in detail on Friday through a NUNET demo. Yeah.
Cool.
And before we go into that, so let's talk about this whiteboard diagram that Suraj left yesterday. So here there's a mention of applications and AI models. So how can we relate this to NUNET? So let us briefly talk about the service provider dashboard. Yeah. So
That is where
yeah,
everything starts.
yeah. So in the service provider dashboard, what we have is we have a simple UI, and we can request any Python program, and that Python program can be a request of any kind. So because Python has so many different libraries, so you can request any kind of job on Python. So that is why we selected Python for that for our frameworks. So basically, we have three options to choose from. So one is TensorFlow, one is PyTorch, and the other one is PyOpenCL. So since this is a DeSci Ideathon, so I would like to talk about PyOpenCL more, because PyOpenCL is a platform that is vendor agnostic, I would say, because you can run an OpenCL program on an NVIDIA or AMD device. So it's basically comes with a .cl extension, and you can deploy it on either platform. So why did we? Why is this a DeSci example? So why OpenCL is a DeSci example? Because most of the scientific simulations and everything are dependent on a centralized architecture. So most of the dependency is on AWS and Google and so many other cloud providers. So if we are able to run, if we are able to request a researcher's job, a researcher's compute job that can solve a medical problem or solve a scientific problem, that is very helpful for the community. There is a great freedom in being able to do it on a peer to on a machine in a peer-to-peer manner. So I think that is why we decided to incorporate PyOpenCL in the SPD interface. Yeah. So if you have any questions regarding this, you can ask. So yesterday's discussion, if you remember, you can ask in this about this whiteboard.
I
what
actually
we
have a
discussed.
talk on 8th. Yeah, I will
Yeah.
be more elaborative.
Yeah.
Any
So
questions?
yeah. So and let me mention two things like regarding the SPD. So one is the vendor agnostic way, and we also have another thing like there are different kinds of GPUs. So one is very we have moderate kind of resources and high end kind of resources. So if the resources are very high end, we are able to also deploy very large language models that are also very good at responding. Like the error rate is much less, as you mentioned. There is a lot of errors in these models. So there is a need for running good chatbots, so that we can handle this problem of quality of the responses.
It's not like
Yeah.
error is there.
Yeah, yeah,
The point is like that standard is like the point is like that standard is not for that much of things that is needed for the researchers.
yes,
Like when we do the project, so for the project when we need the protocols, so it's a live example. Already I faced that one. So one of my students just they did the that chat gpt they use for that protocols. The protocols comes like uh, is like we need it for the graduation level, but it's come us for that normal just test methods, that test tube methods that we use in our 6th 7th class and all. But when we ask for more, like when we change the questions and when we ask for that one, that is not there, that is not available. So it's like key versions are there, that he said ki like lots of versions are coming, so that version is how it is changing. So if we are focusing on like ki, okay, related to our higher education, okay, related to our higher education, if we are changing the versions according to that, so might be possible ki the person who is like started the work, or like they have the like students they have the potential, like okay, ki ultimately what happened to those kind of potential students, ki at a point they just fell down, because after some time after college they don't have the platform, or like now is like okay, they don't have the lab, they can't assess because labs and like universities and other, like they have lots of like requirements, and then lots of blah blah things are there. Okay, they can't able to fulfill all the eligibility things. And then after the most important, like during that initial time when we started this there like one question raised ki like we not question is a like a point ki we don't want the examination. That is the true point. Examination kills every potential of the mind because it's a stress kind of thing. So it's like he only give the opportunity that chat gpt, if we have that standard of the chat gpt, then it's possible ki we can make those kind of candidate and those kind of potential students to give the opportunity ki without any such kind of eligibility criteria to be passed on, they can do that on own work. And then about the very point is like ki, with the help of the secondary data, with the help of the secondary data, okay, in the lab, like some wet work we can't able to, like if they are not able to afford for that one, okay, that question I raised ki like, okay, for certain work we need the material, for certain work we need the asset for that. So if this kind of chat gpt is there, like the versions customized one, so okay, that for particular department this is the point, like from this version we can get that one. Okay, so if this kind of work we are doing, okay, that input things we are doing, like some generations that already passed on, like, and especially I think in the IT field, and then next one is the doctors. The doctors, those are retired, they have lots of knowledge. So like if they are using their ideas, or like they are providing those things, like we can make that kind of standardized version of our this AI models, or like any kind of AI things. So that will be very much helpful for. So they're like there's a no need for any kind of material, there is a no need with the secondary data itself. Whatever the data, like previous work is there, lots of, in India, especially in India, I was focusing like lots of unpublished good works are there.
Yeah.
We can use that thing also, but only is like we need the accessible thing, and then after the smooth flow for that. And for the smooth flow, this AI tools, I think, will be very much
I
helpful
think
for
this
that.
reminds me again and again of. Yeah, please. You can, because, yeah. So this reminds me again and again of small language models, because they are, I think, they are very economic, because they can run on very lower end hardware, and they are very affordable also. So I think what progress we have done on us on the service provider dashboard, I'm going to show it to you in a short moment. So in the service provider dashboard, what we can do is we can directly request a compute job through a very simple UI, and it directly runs on an onboarded machine. It's like from a like has been onboarded by a common person. I essentially see Nunet as a common people's network. So I used to call that in the early days when I joined. So the thing is, since small language models are very economic and can be deployed easily on lower end hardware, I think there's a lot of scope here. I think.
And it's like keep it's just skipping for that, keep just I his details like for that one. It's like this AI models, yeah, that IIT Madras.
Yeah.
Okay, so IIT Madras for the last 3-5 years, what they are doing is like they are providing the student the opportunity, like for 2 months, 3 months, they can come there to get the this unpublished thing, to get the ideas of those students. They are just providing the space, giving the laptop, providing the space, providing the atmosphere, work on it like whatever the ideas they have. And then after, if they are applying for the some project funding for that, if that work that is done by the student, by the person, is applicable or like it's fruitful, then they hire the student for their further work. Okay, so this kind of thing, but the point is like for the 3 month they are not getting anything. Okay, they are learning, they are exploring their mind, but is like we need to provide something to them so they can survive well, not luxurious, but at least they can survive. Yeah, the basics things. So it's like working space we are providing, and more point is like half of the thing is like that okay, they are getting the platform, like small platform to explore their idea. But if we take look from the other side, so other side is like might be they are just harvesting the thing, harvesting the and utilizing the student mind. But is like if the project funding is not for their idea, so then after 3 months the whole timing, whatever the time they spend, is like lost. So there also is like some basics requirement we need to provide for that one. And I think now the point is about this application and this AI. So might be lots of work is there, like we can explore this one things to make the things 100% reliable, like 100% successful for that 3 months of the duration. So is like they can gain it, okay, like not in the bank balance or not in the cryptocurrency and all, but at least they can gain, so they can move to the next level, not as a like a defeated kind of okay, our idea is not get well. So that is the point like there also we can give something like those 3 months or like whatever that training things or like exploring thing is going on. So there also this, I think this AI model will be worthful for that one. Okay, like after that getting might be, is because like lots of opportunities are there.
Yeah.
Even like lots of companies are giving the opportunity to the youngsters. So give the idea, plan on that. Okay, even we also got one project in Chennai. My lab is in Chennai. So groundwater department, that Indian government groundwater department, they have provided the thing like, okay, first they asked for the some project, like a pilot project kind of things. So we did, and then we provided the things within 1 month. We did whatever the work, the data we provided. Ki, okay, after this we can able to clean the water by the with the help of this algae. Algae are like green scums. So it's like we can do this one without much of the investment. So they are agree on that. Now the next term is like for 1 month we have to prove them on the ground level. So is like for that kind of thing. Now that again the point come the material thing.
Okay.
So is that possible ki like this AI models will able to do this kind of thing? So opportunities are
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Definitely,
So
we can
if
explore it.
we
Yeah.
help our generation, or like if we are providing the thing, they can at least make their level next, and they can apply to somewhere else, not as a defeated kind of. Those is like a running race kind of.
Yeah.
Like those ideas where get selected, they will move to the next level. Rest of the person will go back. So instead of going back, they can spread.
Yeah. I think there is a need for like disseminating the knowledge, like the documentation. We have the documentation for how to incorporate NuNet. GPUNet also has their own documentation. So I think it is more important to like share this information with the right in the right environments that essentially need them. So then only we can solve these challenges.
And then after is like the publication, even the review thing also, when we are publishing the review also, that is also very much helpful for like to getting the knowledge about like this unpublished things, or like the research work, that whatever the field research work is there. So there also is a platform like to give the ideas and like explore and go to the next level. That is the thing.
Thanks, Ron. Very valuable feedback we got from you. So, have any questions? Okay, so no, actually we will be doing it on Friday, because the day is completely dedicated to the lab, because we can experiment. We'll get more time to experiment on that. Yeah. So I think since you mentioned algae, so can you talk a bit more about the research side of things? Yeah, because we can explore the how computational science can help that area.
So it's like basically the algae is like they are the lower plants, and most of the oxygen demanding is done by, that is the, like if you ask for the pre-introduction, that is about the algae. They are the micro plants, and then after is like in nowadays in pharmaceutical, in drug designing, in the drug development, maximum of the requirement we can fulfill with this help of this algae. And then after is like keep very hype word is towards this thing is like keep with the algae is related to the biodiesel production, the fourth generation biofuel for us. But that is very cost effective. It's like 3 4 stages we need to follow. But if we are growing those micro plants in small tube also, that we can convert into the pharmacy. So it's a revolutionary thing in the pharmacy. And then after, the next stage is about the superfoods, and the third is about the cosmetics. So cosmetics will be like, okay, bio-based cosmetics are there. Okay, so is like key pigments thing, other antioxidant things that we can go. So again, it's going towards the pharmacy. So algae will give a prominent third generation, or the next level of the things that like we can grow anywhere. It's like if we are keeping some motion thing, so it's like keep in the bottle itself, if we are keeping one like normal 1 liter bottle kind of. Okay, so in this, in that only like something those green scums will grow. And what is they are doing is like they are providing the oxygen in that, like the jar that we are provided, like that water cleaning persons, they're providing the jar, 20-liter jars and all. So if in that also, with the help of those motion and all, something if greenish is coming, so they are the providing the oxygen. But if you are growing on the more, they can give the more essential or like more efficiency towards the pharmacy thing. So that is about the algae. So instead of going towards the biodiesel, or it's a big word and like a more catchy thing, but it's more like a economically affected one also. No one, like not a big companies is going to go for this one, but for the pharmacy we can do that. Okay, so it's like pharmacy, then the for the water treatment also. Hmm. So
Yeah, please continue.
so it's like this algae is about like if we are going for the drug development. So anti-cancer activities and the anti-cancer ability is also there in this algae. So if we are going towards the small single cellular thing, or like if we are going towards the towards the thallus organization, or the big thing, thread like of structure will be there, 1 meter or 2 meter of the length will be there. That also will give you the most like extract or the secondary component from that, and then we can able to apply for that one also. So it's depend like what kind of environment from where we are getting, and what how we can utilize for that one. But I think if we work more on the drug development, that it will be like very much feasible also.
Okay, so there are possibilities in the drug development also.
Yeah, lots of possibilities
Because
are there.
this
And
morning only we were discussing deep chem. So it's basically a drug designing software, open source drug designing software. So I think if there, we can run deep chem on Nunet. I have tested it some time back. So I think if we could share those molecules with me, we could try to do some training on those small molecules and or ligands. Then we can. Try
Yeah,
to
it's like it's like that's why like I just to be talking about that like if we have the data,
yeah.
the unprocessed data, like we can't able to reach, if we able to like do that AI things to them,
Yeah.
then automatically the entire generation will get the access to this kind of information. And then after the material research work will be like easy.
Yeah.
Because this, if I am talking about this currently for this algae, so is like with the minimum requirement of the materials, it can be grown anywhere. Like if we prepare the medias also in our lab, when we are preparing the medias also, the media is also normal salt based. They are not that much of cost effective.
Okay, so is there a known molecule that is very effective
In the growth,
yeah?
known molecule will be like just normal minerals.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
no magnesium
because,
sulfate, this kind, magnesium, zinc, this kind of minimum things are required. Or like if you are growing in an open pond and all, it will automatically utilize, and it's helpful in the ecosystem also.
So there is nothing like we need large data sets of these. So
No, not
because
that
one
much.
advantage of deep chem is it uses one shot learning. So I think it's a very effective use case we can explore. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're like we can work, we can work on that as well. And then after examine the particular substance, and then after is like making it to the like molecular structure and the ligands and how it is working, what is the interactions and all.
Yeah.
So it's like when we get the biomass, and then when we do the test for that, like okay, anti-cancer activity is there. So which component is there? So if you are doing the test for that, if it is giving the slightly answer for or like positive test for that, then automatically it's like we will get the entire structure for those molecule, and then you can feed it in that format. Okay, so that we can explore as a, and the same thing once when we are did this work is like the same thing as a secondary data that other person will able to utilize that. That there's a no need for like to again go for those wet test labs and all again to growth and all. So it's like automatically it will be like the third person, fourth person, that generation wise they can use it as a source for that one. That is also is like we can use it this things
Yeah, I'm
for a
thinking on the
growth.
technical side, how to implement it on the technical side of things, because we have three frameworks that we already can start with on the service provider dashboard. So we have TensorFlow, PyTorch, and PyOpenCL. I have used Cell Modeler in my research, so I use PyOpenCL for doing the like cell growth simulations and simulating microcolonies. So it has been very helpful in understanding the cellular behavior, because it is essentially very unpredictable. So uh, coming to the your use case, so your use case, I think we can use TensorFlow, because for DeepChem TensorFlow is a requirement for running DeepChem. So we have to install TensorFlow first, then only DeepChem we can deploy. So I think we can select TensorFlow and then we can install DeepChem as a dependency, and then we can deploy these jobs requests. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
One thing.
Yeah.
I'm a researcher in
Okay.
cancer biology. So not recently, we can tell 5 to 6 years back, nanobots have been discovered, which are used to treat the cancerous tumor, or particularly they are used to treat that particular region. To make the cancer spread less, to make the metastasis less.
Okay.
So, as ma'am said, that algae has anti-cancer properties. As per my study, I think microalgae, it is marine in nature, they have anti-cancer properties.
Marine algae, and then after is like if we said for the terrestrial one also. So terrestrial also, and then this nanoparticle thing. I think you were talking about that.
Nanobots.
So nanobots is like key. The point is like key is they are like accepting that that body nature, or like that patient immunity, and like their body is accepting that
the
one.
medical condition
So
is
in medical
compatible.
condition and everyone. Just now, last month I get interacted with one Bangladeshi patient. Is like the tumor is taken out. He is having the intestinal gut microbes cancer. So it's like but after the chemotherapy, everything is sorted. Within 1 month, like October 30, they started, and Feb 6th, I got that interactive session with that patient. So it's like the chemotherapy is like in the whole body, it's get affected. So the point is like with the nanotechnology, because it's like suddenly there is a raise in the nanotechnology. You're saying like it's not just for 5 years, 6 years back. So it's like that nanotechnology the nanobot depend on the particular patient
Medical condition,
medical
yes.
condition as well, and not in the medical condition. It's like their normal acceptance also. So that is the point, like.
So, can AI be used to target those nanobots to release these algae-based medicines also?
Yes, definitely we can, because I think there are a lot of Python libraries that use AI to implement these things. So we can explore it definitely. Yeah.
So that is what I wanting to ask. That AI can be used to target these nanobots also.
Yes, because now
nowadays
we have APIs where we can use LLMs, and we can implement them as APIs. So it makes it a lot more simpler to understand these problems. So
now we use previously programmed nanobots.
okay.
But then the problem is that cancer is very much unpredictable. We cannot
Yeah,
predict
yeah.
where it will spread. So
Yeah.
when it suddenly spreads, the nanobot cannot work anymore because it is previously programmed for a particular organ. So suppose the liver is means the cancer is metastasizing from liver to maybe stomach or pancreas, then the nanobot medicine will not work because it is programmed for liver. So if AI is used, then according to the patient's deteriorating condition, we can change the programs of the nanobots. We can change the codes.
Can nano if if the nanobots can use an API, it's a very advanced thing to say, but I don't. It can be difficult, but it's not impossible. So
Yeah. So I can give you an example, or maybe National University, Singapore, perhaps. They specifically use AI to trace a particular regime of medicine for a particular patient uh, through the models of AI. Sorry. So I don't know the exact details. Maybe we can Google it out. So how AI treated a cancer patient, because like ma'am mentioned that the cancer therapies are sometimes very unique to a particular patient. So they were searching for a particular customized medicine regime for that particular lady, and the medical board wasn't able to figure it out manually. See, so they ran a machine learning AI based search, and they exactly found the particular medicinal doses and the way of treatment. And maybe that was a very kind of mm, uh, she came out of those I mean cancerous like the malignant, what's called the medical, the malignancy was out, and maybe it was, yeah. So the AI, we have real world case where AI has helped
AI have helped to fix the particular regimen. I'm talking about delivering drugs using AI.
that's
that is what
that
deep
is
chem
also-
does. That is the use case of deep chem. You can look into the deep chem documentation. So it is exclusively for designing drugs for that uses one-shot learning. So you have to show it a known small molecule that is already known that is effective in treating all for a particular scenario. So based on that, it tries to discover a new drug,
yeah,
new ligand.
it will go on evolving.
Yeah.
The machine learning will learn and learn, and it will keep on improving the results.
And not only this, I think I would say that we should go for a combination of rule-based learning as well as LLM-based learning. So what it does is it reduces the chances of errors that LLMs usually make. Like we call it hallucination in AI. So I think there is a requirement for incorporating rule-based learning also. So we need hybrid systems. So
Yeah.
it's definitely possible. Yeah.
Great.
So I think we can wrap it up now, because but the essential thing I want to mention here is applications. We based on this discussion, I see that applications are more important than tools. We design tools, but unless there is a good application of these things that we are discussing, the tools wouldn't be as important. So the applications decide how
Yeah.
tools can be.
If you remember, I mentioned one decentralized protocol yesterday, and that is called Vector AI Bioscience. Vector AI. It also has a decentralized. They have their own token, VXV.
Yeah.
They are using those biological machine learning models to create specific
Yeah, there are
targeted
biology LLMs also.
biology LLMs are also
LLMs,
there now. Yeah,
specifically fine-tuned for biology.
fine-tuned for biology.
Yeah.
Too.
So it is much better to use those LLMs rather than
General
ChatGPT
general.
LLMs.
But they're specific biological
Yeah.
and medicinal.
Yeah.
Yeah, they learn on those biological data.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. We can end today's session. So before I end it, I'll just briefly talk about the workshops that we'll be having tomorrow. So the first workshop will be on inflation and its effect on decentralized science. So Vinny Barbosa will be talking about it. I'm really looking forward to his talk.
What's time?
The time for the workshop
Vinny's.
is the same actually, 9 a.m. actually.
9 a.m.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
Vinny's. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'll move
yeah. Okay.
by
Okay.
7:30.
Thanks so much.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
no,
Thanks so much.
I can't afford to miss on that.
Thanks so much.
So,
Yeah. So and the next one is AI versus human-led AI. So we can talk
Again,
more about this.
Stanley.
Yeah. This.
Mhm.
Yeah. Stanley. So we can talk about the deep chem. We can continue the conversation that we just initiated regarding how we can use deep chem for these solving these issues. So I think we can. He will have valuable feedback regarding how we can incorporate deep chem and to solve these problems. So this is the second session, AI versus human-led AI, and the final one will be very different kind of an aspect because it is not about technology. It's essentially about decentralization in itself. So we'll be exploring decentralization through the insights of Krishnamurti. So he was a world teacher, and we have invited the Krishnamurti Foundation in Kolkata. We'll have an interactive thought process, and we'll be exploring the essential meaning of decentralization and what are the similarities with his teachings. He used to talk about authority and what are his views. What are his views on authority? And there are a lot of ways we can compare it to decentralized autonomous organizations. So I'm really looking forward to these 3 workshops.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
Krishnamurti. I think Krishnamurti Foundation has
Yeah.
schools also. The
Yes,
Rishi
yes.
Valley schools.
Yes, yes.
Rishi Valley school is also there, perhaps near Bangalore or something. If someone is aware of that.
Yeah. So this
Rishi
talk
Valley
will
School
be
is
in
there.
11:15 IST. Yeah. Each talk is 1 hour.
In my
these
younger
workshops.
days, I used to read lots of Krishnamurti books.
Nice.
that's-
So actually, we are eventually going having a more practical discussion as the days are going. I think we are making quite
And
some interesting progress.
like uh, with this physical discussion, our aim should be to keep this momentum rolling even after this
So we need to
Those
write more about it
more,
and having the continuing the conversation on Telegram and then
Telegram
and having
even
monthly
WhatsApp
meetups.
also.
At least once a month, if we can come here and continue the discussion,
will
I think
be
the
very-
development process continues and we can work further on these problems. Yeah.
This idea will be more shared, discussed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those.
Yeah.
And one thing we can also what we can also do that like Pranay it won't be possible for every time to come down every month, so we can also have those Zoom sessions, na?
Yeah.
Like
We can
Zoom
have
meetings we can also do.
Yeah, that we
once
can
in
do
a-
more. That we can be more frequent. That can be more frequent. Online sessions can be more
Online
frequent.
Zoom
Yeah.
sessions.
But we can have physical meetups once a month.
Once a month.
Yeah.
Who are in Kolkata, ma'am?
Yeah.
You're in Kolkata, and ma'am, you.
Not frequently, but
Okay.
after 20-30 days time.
Okay.
You are mostly based out of Chennai, right? So we can do DeSci Chennai also sometime later.
Chennai, Bangalore.
Yeah.
So we can.
Because this is the
And
DeSci India initiative. So
those of us who are
it's all
here
about
in Kolkata,
decentralizing the
we can meet.
science. Yeah,
And
in India.
once in a while we can do those Zoom meetings so that we
Yeah,
all can catch up.
definitely. Yeah.
That's a great idea because it will see if we do those Zoom meetings, so we can catch the vibes.
Exactly.
Those smiles and facial expressions. Otherwise, those
Yeah.
just write it down. The WhatsApp groups and the Telegram group, they are bound to wait.
And
The-
we
the-
need
the
to
graph
incorporate
will-
bots in the Telegram channel. So
I
bots
have
will be
been to
always
so
reminding you.
many conferences. In every conference, after the conference, a group is created. The few days are will say good morning, good afternoon, and after a few days and few weeks,
Yeah, so we need to have bots in our system. So bots will not let us do that. Be that.
bots are done till now. So
But,
we have to create those intelligent bots.
Yeah, we have to look into
must have
some
seen
APIs,
those,
LLM based APIs. So
Customer care bots. Ting. How can I help you? This is this. Ding. Choose this option.
yeah, yeah, right.
My problem is not in the option. After 10 minutes of those frustration, okay.